today. From the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports.
It is always a celebration here in New Orleans, and we are just outside of the French Quarter at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, standing 6'1" from Utah. It's Tyler Huntley.
There's a lot of good to watch in the game last week, wasn't there? I mean, he did throw 2 touchdown passes. That was impressive. And he's so close, isn't he? The 3 interceptions killed him and his team. That was costly. But if he just cleans that up a little bit, there's a reason for optimism with this team and this passer.
He's brought down.
The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 15 carries, 58 yards, and a score.
11 touchdowns on the ground this season, and the pride really extends throughout the entire offense. And in this case, I'm focusing on the offensive line. The leverage, the ability to get downfield, make that extra block in order to give him more space to run. They really look forward to him carrying the football.
And right away, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. So the Bucs now in great shape to begin their initial possession. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
To be considered for the MVP award in the NFL, it's got to be a season of not just consistency, but spectacular consistency, and he's had it all the way through.
I think you're right. He's been as consistent, more consistent probably than anybody else as the numbers bear out. And the social media chatter for the MVP races certainly start to ramp up. I know you and I have felt that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, he's in the pole position as we head down the stretch.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Ronald Jones, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs have taken a first-quarter lead. Great call to hand that one off, and his running back did the rest.
Someone read their keys correctly, and on the defensive side of the ball, they certainly did not, because they really essentially were just going to swarm the quarterback. They kind of guessed themselves out of the play, and guess who benefited? The guy with the football.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. Gives the Bucks a 7-0 lead. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt.
Rodrigo Blankenship set to kick off.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Fields it in the middle of the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
And now he's going to use his legs. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. From the gun, Huntley. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding call.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Vita Vea in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And you can see where they sit, perched right at the top. The question, Charles, with a perfect season they have going, what's on the line, how do you see them playing it out these final few weeks of the season?
I can see the locker room voting unanimously to play to win. That's how they're built. It doesn't matter whether you're 0 whatever or undefeated. You want to play every game to win it. But I think from a management and coaching standpoint, you're looking at it and saying how much pressure is on this team to try and keep that record going, and is that really our ultimate goal? They're almost hoping maybe they get beat, and now you can start to rest guys and take the pressure off and just get ready for the playoffs.
That's out to the left flat and complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now a first down carry by Jones. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Now left side on the swing pass. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
Well, we're always talking about the athleticism we see from these guys on the field. How about the intelligence as well? He recognized that there was a screen pass on that one, broke off his pass rush, and got back to tackle the running back. That's great scouting and great reaction.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Able to find Harris, complete. And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. That last run good enough to have him surpass for his career, get this folks, 12,000 rushing yards.
And how about this? You're in shouting distance now of the top 10 all-time rushers in NFL history. And in short order now, you've got Thurman Thomas, Franco Harris, Marcus Allen, and Edgerrin James right ahead of you. He can zoom past them with just a few more carries.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. This is Fournette. So they hit pay dirt, but don't count it yet. There's laundry on the field. We'll see what the penalty flag is about. So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
They'll drop to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Ronald Jones with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
Now Blankenship on for the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Fielded in the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And it's right about this time of the year that you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
There certainly is, because we all know everyone is aiming for that #1 seed. But failing that, because only 2 teams in the NFL get a bye, 1 from each conference, that question becomes who's hot? Who's peaking at the right time as you start the playoffs?
Give him 5 on the... Carry there, and it'll be second down.
Second and 5.
Operating from the gun, Huntley, and down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Vita Vea racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Throwing on 3rd and long, Huntley. He may try and run for this. Able to pick up a dozen yards there on the scramble, but not enough. 4th down.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Harris has it over the middle. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this 1st quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. But they also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
At the 10-yard line.
Now Leonard Fournette. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They'll set up to throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A 9-yard touchdown grab as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
And it is now 21-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay.
Rodrigo Blankenship set to kick off.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Vita Vea, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one, a gain of 20 and a first down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Taken down and sacked by K'Lavon Chaisson.
Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Yeah, the next-gen stat's going to illustrate just how quickly a quarterback has to process everything, as he was on the ground in under 3 seconds, 2.9 to be precise. Throwing on 3rd and long. Huntley. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
A loss of 5.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to it. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette, 68 yards. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Leonard Fournette, for a big back, he can cover a lot of ground, and he showed off the athleticism there as he broke off a big one.
And that's why he's one of the best running backs in the game today, because this run combined all the elements. Started with patience, and he was just waiting for the right lane to materialize. Then once he saw it, he used his speed and escapability in tandem and turned this into a tremendous play.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. Rodrigo Blankenship on for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6.
Rodrigo Blankenship set to kick off.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This taken in about 4 yards deep, and no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
25-yard line.
Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock, but barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. He was trying to get it to his running back, Alvin Kamara. That'll bring up second down.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
On second down, Kamara. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
On third down, Huntley. He can run for it, and he will. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29.
And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a first down.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And he fields it cleanly. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Back now comes Tampa Bay. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Late in the season now, MVP chatter starts, and he might be on the fringe. This is always an award that goes quarterback, running back, usually quarterback. A lot of bias. Does he deserve consideration?
He more than deserves consideration, because the way the game is played in the NFL now, it's a pass-first league, right? So that means that people are going to adjust their defenses for him each and every week, and he's still putting up big-time numbers. I know the quarterbacks, the running backs get it, but he should be firmly in the race for MVP.
And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best
Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. That was just one of those interceptions from our perspective here. We got a good view at the 50-yard line mid-level that quarterback and receiver were not on the same page.
Just by his reaction, I'm talking about the quarterback, he expected something different from his receiver, whether he expected him to break in, out, deeper, shorter. They'll determine that on the sideline. But bottom line, You can.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Well, that certainly changes things.
Yeah, I think the thought process is they'd take this lead into the locker room, run something simple here and run the clock out. Instead, they get the big play. Now they have a chance to increase what they've done in the first half.
That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. We got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And goal.
Second and goal from inside the 5. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. From 4 yards out. And the Bucs offense continuing to pour it on.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Blankenship out for the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs.
Rodrigo Blankenship set to kick off.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening in the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start in the NFC North. Minnesota playing host to Chicago up at US Bank Stadium. And as they approach halftime, it's the Bears who are out in front. Devin Funchess, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Terry McLaurin up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. In that game, all square as they take on the visiting Cowboys. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bucs with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. Fielded just outside the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? Who? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the road
true.
to be fairly clear
by the time
we have to leave the booth.
Here's a quick throw left side to start things out. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on first.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards the pickup there. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause, to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A toss running left, Fournette. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and end of the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, with that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 16. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
He will push his way down to about the 14. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense the next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well. Incomplete.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And they'll get him down short of the first down, right on the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Out there is Rodrigo Blankenship in the field goal unit.
A 27-yard attempt.
Blankenship's kick is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger.
Saints, nothing.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited. To see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
After the made field goal, here's Blankenship again. And this carries into the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after them now.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Over the middle, complete. It's Curry. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Give them 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
On the ground, Kamara. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
They run it again with Kamara. And the Buccaneer defense for the 2nd straight play, flexing its muscle by forcing a loss. 2 yards the loss there, now 3rd and 14.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And that will be incomplete.
But the passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 30.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a 1st down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done.
Gain of 29.
That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
He'll drop to throw. Flush to his right. He's going to take him. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A 12-yard touchdown run. And this Buccaneer offense, they're running away with this one. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Now Blankenship on for the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was capped off by a 12-yard touchdown run.
Rodrigo Blankenship set to kick off.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Taken in the end zone. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. That catch good for only a couple.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Off play action. Huntley rolling to his right. He'll try and run it. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
0.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. A 10th carry for Kamara. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Kamara. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
Carrier. He was tackled at the 46-yard line. That's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 1.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Saints on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. From the gun, Huntley. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
The Bucs on third down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw here. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete.
The pass.
And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 17 yards on the play and a Buccaneer first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Fournette, a first down carry. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
The tackle.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play, unable to connect in that attempt.
Out of the gun now on third down. Finding Harris over the middle. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a fourth down. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Looking to throw on second down. Huntley on the move to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
And sack.
Just keep going. It's all right.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Operating from the gun. Huntley. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return.
44-yard line.
The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit.
You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
And 4.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. And good running, going to get this down close to a first at the Saints 25. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Now a play fake here on first down. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7. Thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Scott. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressed. From the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the fourth quarter.
And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They'll try to run this one in, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Rodrigo Blankenship on for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That time a 9-play drive. And it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. On 1st and 10, Huntley. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
To throw on 2nd down, Huntley. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Adam Troutman, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
Too many zeros on the stat sheet thus far. No touchdown passes, no points for his team, but he remains undaunted. Still attempting to get his team on the scoreboard, firing the ball downfield.
That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return.
26-yard line.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. Now it looks like he'll throw here. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
They'll try to run some clock now with Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. He'll let one go deep for Howard. He's got a man, complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A great pickup there,
35 yards, and obviously the first down to go along with it.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout, and actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the third quarter doing the old hold up four fingers college sign, meaning the fourth quarter is ours, and they certainly weren't kidding.
He's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. So time has run out on what will be a Tampa Bay victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Tampa Bay, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll return home next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Thank you.